This video is sponsored by Cake Wallet, the easiest open source wallet to store Bitcoin, Monero, and Litecoin securely on mobile and desktop devices. When buying, selling, and exchanging crypto or trading for gift cards, Cake Wallet ensures privacy and security, giving you the keys to your coins. What's up, everyone, and welcome back to the Randi Hipper Show. I am your host, and we're getting after it today. We're going to talk about 2025, what we expect, as well as crypto security, because your crypto could be at risk and you might not know it. We're going to jump into it with the one and only Seth, aka Mine Your Biz. Seth, how are you doing today? Welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Randy. I'm doing great. Thanks for having me back. Always a pleasure. And I'm excited. I won't give too much away, but I'm excited. It's going to be a positively charged piece from my end. Even though security is always a serious thing, I got a lot of hope. I got a lot of hope right now.
Me too. If you guys are bullish on Bitcoin, crypto, and securing it the proper way, then make sure you smash the like, subscribe, share it out with friends, and check out our sponsors, Cake Wallet and Market Cipher. We're going to get after it today. Hi, everyone in the chat. And if you guys have questions, I'm going to do my best to scan the chat and make sure I can keep up with you guys. But yeah, we're going to get after it right now. Seth, man, how do you feel about 2024 Bitcoin, crypto, and going into 2025?
Wow. So it's the fulfillment of a lot of stuff that we've been talking about for years, Randy. And for a lot of us, who've been here for more than one cycle and been through the lows and still talked about crypto publicly and privacy and security publicly, this is very, very vindicating just to see how price is doing now in 2025 and to see that some of the stuff that I was talking about on the security and privacy side is also bearing out. We can talk about that a little bit as well if you'd like, but the full removal of privacy from Bitcoin before the ETF was passed totally kind of bore out as predicted. And now we have number go up technology installed in Bitcoin in the form of an ETF, but we don't have privacy. So it's nuanced. It's really, really nuanced. We're getting all the number go up stuff that we expected in a bull run, but we're getting it in a way that we didn't expect, right? That sort of institutional grind upwards where the shakeouts are heavier, the scam wicks are kind of a little less easy to predict, and it's getting harder to juke these guys, right? With the big whale funds, we'll say. So what I do like is that security and privacy remain constant. You have to have a foundation there. So 2025, I think, is the year that more people take that seriously.
I absolutely agree. And for people that may not have seen you before, do you mind giving a little bit of your crypto backstory? When did you find Bitcoin? When did you find crypto? And what led you to self-custody and securing your privacy?
Sure. Thanks so much for asking. So I've got a professional background as a Fortune 50 national trainer for Microsoft. I was considered a senior national trainer at the time, helped roll out Windows 10. And then also did regional management work for Google in their retail program. Spent a lot of time inside of Best Buy stores, but have never worked for Best Buy. So interesting that. And prior to that, did national new hire orientation work for Samsung Telecom, based out of Dallas, in the Dallas Fort Worth area. Their little campus there. During that time, though, while I was heavily involved in tech, living in Austin, Texas, I had my first exposure to Bitcoin. Brother of mine was really active in building and had one of the first auto switching multi-coin mining pools in 2013. Whoa. Yeah, it was really technically it was a lot more difficult back then. And nowadays, we were just chatting about it in the green room. There's probably an AI for that, an AI framework like that can just set up a mining pool for you or whatever. Back then, it was intensely manual and very difficult. There weren't even good GitHub repositories that you could go and fork, right, if you wanted to use open source. So 2013 kind of gave me my first intro to Bitcoin conceptually. But working in tech, and in the Austin area, I knew people that were working before neural nets started to really resurge heavily, working on symbolic AI systems, trying to reintegrate those into neural nets. I knew people working in mobile technology and people who worked at the the AMD and the Samsung fabrication facilities out there in just outside of Austin, Texas, and a lot of really intelligent people, Randy, panned it. A lot of the most intelligent people that I've ever met in my life, they had heard of it, but like me, didn't act right away. It was kind of like, conceptually, it sounds good, but why is this different from PayPal? At that time, we look back with 2020 hindsight, perfect vision, and say, well, man, we should all just picked up $1 million Bitcoin as soon as they were available, and right, because the price was so good. And it's like, yeah, but that's when it was the most risky. Most people think that they have that virtue and that they would have seen it, and that vision, that they would have seen it the first time that they had exposure. But frankly, we all got exposure to Bitcoin when we got it. For me, it took years. 2013, I learned about it because I had a couple brothers who were deeply involved in it, building on the multi-coin mining pool side. I was right there on the phone with my brothers talking about the Ethereum ICO and is it a scam? Should I let go of 1 Bitcoin for 2,000 ETH? It was a risk. All this stuff was a risk. And people don't want to view it that way because we know what the outcome is now. But starting back then, it was like, well, no, success is not guaranteed.
Yeah.
It's just not. And so, yeah, people, they take that into account. And some of the smartest people who I knew in tech just really didn't take it seriously. I leaned in with more of the frame of believer of like, okay, well, it makes sense. Technologically, I can't find a whole lot of faults with this. Segregated witness, SegWit, wasn't really proposed for Bitcoin just yet. So it was early days and very, very, I guess, very innocent. I was aware of the whole history of like colored coins and how that turned into Ethereum,
Yeah.
right? With Vitalik and all that. So that was my introduction. Me really getting involved in earnest, though, Randy, didn't happen until about 2016. My public record, my first call, I guess, publicly on crypto was on Facebook. I said, you probably shouldn't bet against Doge. I'm going to stand by that. I think it's safe to say now. I think it's probably safe to say now, but back then, not so safe to say. Yeah. Just to throw that out there. And then I got, like the craven wage slave that I was, and that we all turn into if we stick too closely to risk aversion. I didn't get my full exposure to Bitcoin until 2017, but I'm very happy with the price I acquired it at. And yeah, from there, the rest is kind of history. I started talking really loudly about it in 2018. Still have that selfie with Ben Armstrong wearing an entire costume, a unitard, and a little orange mask. He was doing everything he could to try to get attention back at the time. Again, success wasn't guaranteed. Really, yeah. Success wasn't guaranteed. So it was fun early days. And then also 2018, the Aria Hotel, walking up to Jason Appleton and being like, dude, you're really tall. I couldn't think of anything better to say. I'm like, dude, you're really, really tall.
That's what everyone says to him. Poor guy.
I know. He's like, wow, that's an original thought. Good for you. Anyway, thankfully there's a little bit of history there now as well between me and some other people in the industry who were dipping their toes in the water and turning on a webcam and a microphone and trying to find something interesting to say. For me, I maintain that background though of being a training professional who's been paid very good money by Fortune 50 companies to distill complex ideas into simple sound bites. But is that a good nutshell for who is Mine Your Biz, or should we talk about a different aspect of Mine Your Biz?
No, that was honestly great. That was so awesome. And the crypto scene, like kind of diving into like the influencer or content creator end of things. How has that changed over the past 10 years? Because you're talking about basically like 2015, 2016. It's 2025. I mean, it's almost been 10 years. That is a wild thing to even talk about. Like, what was it like meeting all these people back then? What do you notice about the content creator space then versus now?
So what I've got to say, Randy, and this is unprompted. We didn't talk about this, but I think you already know, and a lot of the community feels the same way. You're a ray of light in the influencer scene that's come into the ecosystem since that time. So being a new star in the constellation, you're a very welcome addition. I think you are the needed change. And for Gen Z, I think you're a very good pattern and model. So without too much pressure, right? Like, I think, pushing to reach out to your peers in a way that genuinely resonates with them, but then also help them get exposure to new ideas. That's hard, right? When you're part of it, you identify as part of an in-group. So that's huge what you're doing there. What I think has changed most though, in that time till now, if you're familiar with the concept of dead internet theory, it's just borne out much more than I thought it would. To give you kind of a story from the trenches of working in marketing in 2012 for Dell Computers. I managed a team of college students at the time. And it was interesting. I managed the entire Central States region for Dell Computers for the campus program. At the time that the iPad was just destroying laptop sales because I mean, it was cool. Let's be real. It's an iPad. It was super cool, way cooler than having a laptop if you could get it to do the same things. HP, every other major brand that sold laptops at the time, including Apple, suffered a massive drop in laptop sales in the year 2012. And I mean, how does that relate to credit? How does that relate to financial cycles from 2008? We could probably lay out a trickle down effect there, I guess, also. But the fact remained, laptops were getting punched in the face. I ran a little team that sold Dell laptops of all brands, Dell, right? Like not the coolest hardware. Most people don't think like, yeah, man, my Dell is the best, most fancy computer ever. It's like you use it because it's a computer.
Yeah.
We were perfectly clear about that. But we pushed so hard with social media on Twitter at the time. And I'm kind of aware of a lot of the tricks that are used for growth hacking because I was hired by a major corporation to use them back then. So dead internet theory is this concept that because of people, like me, who manage a few dozen college students to generate content for them cheap back in 2012 and then post it on X or on Twitter, you can get a whole lot of backlinks. You can get a whole lot of activity for just relatively a small amount. Now that's kind of started to get more and more abstracted since that time. Replace college interns who we had to pay with foreign nationals who live offshore. Now replace foreign nationals with AI agents. And that's been kind of the direction things have been going for over 10 years now. I've seen it, firsthand. But it's just like that underscores even more, Randy, the importance of our own personal security and privacy. What influences do we let in to help us make our purchase decisions? But also, how do we secure what's ours? Because when we interact with people online, there hasn't been a guarantee that they're like people for a long time. So that's dead internet theory kind of in a nutshell, is that increasingly automated traffic and increasingly automated interactions that we have online. One of the few ways we can guarantee that we're interacting with real people is like, I don't even know if you and I have met face to face IRL. Have we at the Bitcoin conference?
I want to. Wait, hold on. I don't even think so.
Yeah. So
what?
I don't want to press too. I don't want to press the issue too much, but my point is, I'm not going to make that mistake again this year. You'll definitely see me in Las Vegas. I'll go really far out of my way to make sure that happens because it's going to matter a lot more moving forward.
Yeah.
That proof of life and proof of humanity. But
yeah.
that's kind of what I'm getting at there. As me, that's my new frame for security and privacy is what are we, like threat modeling, what are we securing against? What are we trying, what kinds of, not secrets, but private information are we trying to withhold from the general public? And how can those secrets be divulged without our permission, right? That's become kind of the frame, for how I look at security and privacy, including towards cryptocurrency. How do we make sure that we maintain our sovereignty in a world where a lot of outside influences are automated. They're not real.
Yep.
And they threaten our privacy and security more than ever. So, yeah.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. I'm on board with that because even when you're talking to like you reach out to customer service on a website, most likely now it's a bot. And then you have the human aspect, which people have, messaged a certain crypto exchange, right? I won't name them for the sake of the drama, but some girl posted at one point that she was talking to one of them and then like she had to send her picture, right? And to verify herself or something. And the guy started flirting with her. And I was like, man, this is not appropriate. And then it's like, what is he going to do with that information? Is he able to take that picture and go do something or post it or expose her information? So it's like, not only are we giving our information to these bots that could be hacked into, but also we're relying on humans, which sometimes is not the best thing because they can be unhinged.
Yeah, increasingly not the best thing. I mean, really, Randy, I as you know, I've got kids that span across Gen Z and Gen Alpha.
Yep.
And what I'm seeing from the trenches has me genuinely concerned. Can I give a little anecdote from the last 24 hours?
Yes, please.
I went to the gym, a local gym that I hadn't been to in a while. I have a membership to several, and I kind of go where I feel like going, for the workout. I also have a home gym where I predominantly use that. Hey, in a post-COVID world, I promised myself they would never shut down my fitness habits again. So I stocked in everything I need at home,
That's
just to be
awesome.
absolutely sure.
Smart.
Hey, they spooked me that much, right, with the whole lockdowns and all that, and I need that for my mental health. Anyway, I go
Respect.
to a gym. Yeah, last 24 hours. It is a purely mental health thing for me. You can't explain my neurosis with physical culture any other way, right?
Me
But
too.
going the last 24 hours, I go to the gym and I'm surrounded by Gen Alpha and Gen Z, young men, young women, who cannot push their own body weight. People who
Uh-huh.
I think in their own mind, their own self concept is like, oh yeah, I'm getting it in. I'm a fit person. And I'm like, I can't see a single person here who is my peer under the weights, like getting under a bar. Um, that was sobering to me, Randy, to think like if pardon the expression, if the shit hits the fan right here, I'm the guy. Period. I'm 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 the man.
So
There's
like,
nobody else here who can handle a threat.
yeah, that's
That was
true.
very scary. Because I know how long the police take to respond. I know exactly where they're based in my town. I know the response time. I'm the guy if some shit goes sideways there.
Yeah.
That was scary.
That's so
Yeah.
wild. That's so wild because I hit the gym all the time and I don't think I try to do like pull-ups and all this. Like I don't think I can lift my own body weight either.
Deadlifts and squats are your friends. Figure out how to get good, in my opinion. But like that's another tangent there. All I'm saying is if that mentality is if that kind of lackadaisical mentality about maintaining oneself
Uh-huh.
extends into the digital realm, I think you got a lot of people who are reusing passwords, got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 as a password as their password, and a lot of young people who are maybe not custodying their own crypto. If 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 it's true, right? Whatever, everyone's grandparents, everyone's grandpa that great grandpa that fought in World War II. If it's true that how a person is in small things is how they are in all things, I have cause for concern after last night.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah, I think Gen Z's got a lot of problems. I mean, the what 24 hours or less that TikTok was banned, everyone was absolutely losing it. And the second, literally I went on my TikTok app. I was like, "Okay, see it's banned." I go to Instagram and on my personal Instagram account where it's like all the people I knew from high school, whatever, every single Instagram story, every single post was TikTok is banned. TikTok is banned. I go to Twitter, TikTok is banned. Help us all. And it's like because the algorithm is unmatched. And then you go to like Instagram Reels and it's like for lack of better words, it's definitely for old people. And it's like there's nothing like that and the algorithm's not going to feed you what you want and it's just not as attention catching. And so these kids are attached to their phones. It is
yes,
horrible. And even, I'm guilty of it too because I work on social media. So it's like my job is to scroll all day long. And then when I'm not scrolling, I'm like, man, is there something wrong with me? And sometimes it's good to detox though. Like I went to
yeah,
Vegas for New Year's and that was the least I was on my phone in years. I was like, I'm not
bless
looking
you.
at my phone. And I was doing
Good.
a
You
lot
had
of
an
that.
adventure. That's what young people are supposed to do. Good Lord.
It was
You're
like
supposed to
not
get
taking a
out and live a little.
selfie. Yeah, it's like you're supposed to take a selfie with everything you do. It's like, oh, if you didn't take a selfie or if you didn't take a picture, it didn't happen type thing. And like I'm doing all these things. I'm like, man, should I take a selfie right now? Should I take my phone out and record it? But then I'm like, no, you have to enjoy the moment. And I don't regret that. I don't regret that.
Yeah, no, amazing for you. Way to ring in the new year. I think that's going to become important. So let me just say this, like, without without mincing any words to our audience, guys. If you haven't seen Randy in person, she's speaking somewhere, and you haven't gone to hear her talk in person. Make the effort. Make the effort because automation is going to make all that stuff matter so much more. Look, there's faithful members of your audience. They show up to support you. They're good people.
Yeah.
We know that crypto has a lot of good people in it. Guys, the proof of humanity piece is going to matter a lot in the not too distant future. Make
Yeah.
the effort, make the sacrifice. Go meet people like Randy. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anyway.
I appreciate that, Seth. But yeah, like I definitely like love going to conferences, and I might be at a meetup down here in Florida next week. So and then I also hopefully will attend a conference in Vegas. So there's hope there, and there's a lot of people actually in this chat that have seen me in person, that have seen me speak. So shout out to everyone that has done that and met me, because I love meeting them too, because it's just like seeing people in person. It's so unmatched, and even like doing business meetings or anything related to our space, seeing people in person definitely gives you an energy and a vibe of who they are. And you know, most of the time with me, it's like I show up and then people are looking down. They're like, oh, you're really that small, and I'm like, I guess so. Like that's
I'm,
what I get. Crow
I,
gets, oh, you're so tall. I get,
yeah,
oh, you're so short.
yeah. I married a 5-footer, so that
Oh,
I
I'm right there
promise
with her.
yeah, it's hard to shock me when it comes to yeah female height, and yeah, my wife like. I guess she's fortunate, right? 3 boys, and they're all taller than her, so she's surrounded by dudes that can take care of her. But
Oh, that's so cute.
yeah, eh, I'm just saying, boys are a blessing to a mom. You never hear of a mommy's little girl, do you? No,
No,
it gets catty.
never. Never. They definitely would clash. I mean, I can it's so funny because honestly, boys are good because like they're gonna protect, and it depends on this generation too, because I feel like sometimes this generation, like the guys are a little bit not as like alpha, you know what I mean? Like there needs to be more alpha men.
This is tough. I didn't necessarily mean to like veer into social stuff, but social engineering is the number one security problem, right? It's the number
Yeah,
one
that's why
security piece. Let
TikTok.
me Yeah. Yes. So TikTok is it a security threat? They collect about as much information as any other social media platform collects. The fact that Facebook and that Twitter and that Instagram, right, based on their mother corporations, have been forced to bend the knee to the CIA and the FBI doesn't make them more virtuous. It makes them just another tech company that collects all the information they possibly can about you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
End of story. So, like, yeah, that there's a security risk there. What I'm talking about, Randy, is like you're saying that concept of like, well, Gen Z guys are not as forward. I'm gonna frame it that way. We'll say there's a lot of good guys who are stepping into their alpha era. Does that work?
Yes, yeah, that's
Okay.
good. That's good. That's
All
very
right.
Gen Z of you.
Yeah, there you go. I'm trying to be generous because here's the thing. I got to give this world to somebody, and I hope to God they're ready for it, right? I want Gen Z young men to stand up and be ready for that, whatever
Yep.
that means, right? So, but hearing what you're saying, there is a cultural shift in the West that is making people a lot more risk averse for certain types of interactions. That can be preyed upon by a would-be attacker. You want me to lay out a scenario that could be a security threat?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So you get a random DM or message, some kind of contact from somebody who is vaguely familiar to you. As Gen Z, what is your programmed response? Like, hey, we took that chemistry class together in junior year, remember?
And then I'd be like, "Oh, wait, yeah, sure." And then but then I'd
Right?
have to be like, "Oh, wait, what teacher?" I would verify. I would do a little bit more digging.
You're well trained and you're putting in the reps, so to speak, right? Of
Yeah.
doing having a security mindset, right?
Yeah.
Like so you're building that habit.
Yeah.
The Gen Z programmed response is though, and your peers do this, they're like, oh, I have to be nice.
Exactly. Yes. 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 Yes.
That's
Yes.
going to be a problem, right? You
Oh,
can you can
yeah.
be nice to an AI that is actively infiltrating and stealing your shit. You have to be careful, right? Just interacting with people. The social consensus layer is where the majority of crypto gets stolen. I'm going to say that again as a soundbite for the audience, guys. It isn't the tech, and it never was. It's about who you choose to divulge secrets to and how well you keep secrets from humans. It's social. It's purely social. Think about it that way, please. Because your seed phrase, it's just a password by any other name. You
Yep.
can make a 25 word or 13 word, seed phrase that has, is hardened with an extra word, a password. But you know what I mean, right? The moment that's lost, it goes to the wind. It's you're in trouble. But it's only a problem when people start to use it again. So when people approach you, you unfortunately have to build a little bit of that mental barrier, like Randy has, still being socially open in a way that's safe, but treating everybody like, yeah, I could be your mark.
Yeah.
Not that you're definitely a bad person, but I could be your mark right now. And you could be playing a mid to long game with me.
Oh yeah.
So you got to be careful. Yeah. Proof
Yeah,
of humanity.
yeah, because they could definitely build a friendship with you, and it's like I was seeing on TikTok that there was this page, like a private jet like company, and like they do like these, I think they're bits for the most part, but there was a bit about like this guy that was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take a private jet from the States and go to the Philippines because I met a girl, I'm gonna marry her. And then the guy on the phone was like, are you sure like this girl's real? He was like 100%. And then he flies to the Philippines, and then like the girl's a dude, she was never real, it was AI that was talking to him the whole time.
Yeah, the catfishing thing. Was it oh my gosh, what was his name? The football player, Manti Teo? Is that his name? What the hell is the guy's name? I'm forgetting. Chat, help out, please. You remember the guy that got catfished hard? It was on Facebook too.
Oh
This
my
guy,
Lord,
I think
Facebook.
yeah, but I mean, I think it was like I think he had just been drafted. I think he was really fresh to the NFL, and he's,
Yeah.
I'm forgetting the guy's name. But the point is, catfishing is just gonna get worse, and it's gonna happen both directions. Randy, you're here saying, I really wish that I can meet a peer my age who has these qualities, right? Who presents in this way.
Yeah.
You wanting that means there's an opportunity for an attacker to finesse you by giving you that, right?
Yes.
Like, yeah.
Yes.
So that's the thing, right? Like can be con games more so than anything else for a while. And the whole brain rot thing is not helping. Gen Alpha, you need to chill out, right? Like, because now you got people approaching you who socially, in our little autism puzzle, the pieces that match for Gen Alpha look ridiculous. How could you possibly know if you're talking to a human?
Oh, that's
You
so
can't.
funny. You're so funny.
Right?
It's so true, because there are also people falling in love with AIs and telling them all their information, and then it's like, okay, if you tell someone your grandma's middle maiden name or some BS like that, then all right, well, I guess they have like, all right, let's say like they have like your, I don't know, some important document or account that you have online, like health insurance or something, or whatever insurance, and like they have all those security questions, like what was your first pet's name, or what's your grandma's maiden name or something, and then like the AIs could be knowing these questions and being like, oh yeah, like something about my family, what was your grandma's name, and then like you get the answer, oh yeah, did you ever have a pet? Yeah, like my dog's name was da 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 da, and then they get the answer. So it's like you could be finessed like that too.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And that, what people don't realize, Randy, is that there's currently the last time I checked in on this data set, there is sort of like the mother lode of personally identifying information
Yeah.
in the dark web. And the last time I checked in, it was over 4 terabytes of just this massive database of people's names and as much personally identifying information as has been collected so far. And that database keeps on being added to. Consider that the black hats and the nasty people, they don't delete your information because they got served a GDPR notice. They just keep adding to it. So the last time I checked in, it was 4 terabytes. I think it's grown considerably since then. And all of that metadata that's being pulled from your Facebook, from your LinkedIn, from your Twitter interactions too, all of that can now be meaningfully added to a database like that. So people, I mean, there's some practical steps you can take, but everything you're talking about, like that hits different when you realize that it isn't the NSA gathering all that. It's all the black hats. It's all the bad people of the world who have that information too. So yeah.
That's nuts. That's nuts.
I know. To help you not sleep for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's scary, because everyone in the chat's like, leave me and my AI girlfriend alone. That's you guys are so funny. But yeah, no, because sliding into all of that, because I was talking about on the show earlier how you're just like, especially if you're in crypto, you shouldn't tell people how much you have, how much like where you live and all that stupid stuff. Never give out your address either, because people are going to try to come to you in person and kidnap you or hold you for ransom or something, because they're like, oh, you have X amount of Bitcoin. And then it comes down to like, okay, if someone does come to your house and they try to take your crypto, give me your crypto. Like, where do you put all your recovery phrases? Where do you put your wallets? Like, are we burying it in the backyard or something? Like in a little time capsule? Like, what do we do?
That's a great question. So I love that. I love that you're bringing it up that way. And so let's go to first principles, right? Like everybody tuning in knows that you know, this is a crypto show, right? And that and that the first principles of crypto are the seed phrase.
Yep.
Full stop. The best possible substrate is always metal, and it's not aluminum; it's steel. Believe it or not, aluminum shows up with metal detectors more so than ferrous materials like steel. Why? Why is that? Most metal detectors on their base settings are attuned to ignore that. Ferrous metals, anything that's a steel type alloy, right, or an alloy with iron, is going to be rejected for the most part because it's like use a giant neodymium magnet for that. You can pull that stuff up with just a magnet. Most metal detectors are really trying to find different wavelengths that wouldn't be picked up like a magnet. Non-ferrous materials like gold or aluminum, right? They would show up. So that's why steel continues to be the sort of paranoid crypto person's seed phrase plate of choice. Also, steel is the only, depending on the type of steel you have, mild steel is good enough. You do not need like whatever the high carbon like oyster steel that Rolex puts in their right in their watch bands or something. Like you don't need to overdo it. You can use just a very low grade mild steel. Let me actually see if I should have a visual aid here handy. Let me see if I can pick something up. It's something
Go grab
water
it.
cut by a local local manufacturing job. Hey, this stuff is inexpensive. Every major city has got an industrial complex where you can find people with plasma cutters, laser cutters, and water jets. They can cut this kind of stuff for you if you need it.
And then how do you
done.
describe it yourself then?
I'm glad you asked. People never ask me what it is that I'm flipping around while I'm on camera. Yes, it's the ADHD and the autism and whatever else is part of my special mosaic blend. And you know, the decades and decades of sleep deprivation. This is a this is not a pen. This is not a pen, Randy. I'm glad you asked. This is not a pen. I'm always scratching myself with what is a carbide scribe.
Oh.
This tip right there is made from a high carbon content metal point housed in an aluminum body. So it looks like a pen, but it scratches almost like an engraving tool.
Wow.
So you can scratch out words with this. These things are great. And they cost a couple bucks on eBay or Amazon. Like, this is the kind of stuff that, Randy, is important to me. And the thing that costs me sponsorships is that I won't go help somebody else resell this for 20 bucks.
Oh.
I just can't. I can't do that.
Burn.
I can't. Sorry.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm in a post markup era of my life. Open source for the win. Accelerate the knowledge. That's what matters. So this will help you scratch onto aluminum, steel, plastic, whatever you need to. And on a steel plate, if you don't quite see that scratching as much as you want, just do a second pass. You know how like when you have a ballpoint pen that's not right the way you want, you just cover the text again?
Yeah.
Do the same thing here. Scratch that in, make sure it's nice and clear. That costs you almost nothing except a tiny bit of time. No advanced mechanical knowledge or tool knowledge. You don't need to know how to use a CNC machine or program tool paths into a laser cutter. If you can write, you can back up your seed phrase onto steel.
Ooh. Can I see the thing?
Yeah. Let me see if I can get good back focus here. I don't maybe, actually
Like, do you
I'm
have like
sure,
the metal plate? Like, are you, that angle I can.
Hold on. Hold on. I knew I could do better. Oh, there we go.
Wow, that's so cool. Oh, I love that. I want one. Can you send me a link? Oh, shoot. Wow, what camera do you have, dude? That's such a nice camera.
It's a terrible camera, but it's attached to a really good HDMI. I'll send that over to you as well. Because you need this quality in your life for sure. You make great content. So
thank you.
Yeah. So
that looks fantastic.
Yeah. So, but that little guy, few bucks. They resell this for a few bucks on eBay. In fact, I rebought a couple. So if you have like a public Dropbox for review stuff, maybe I should send you a care package. Maybe that's what we should do.
I have one. I'll send it to you.
Yeah. Yeah,
Thank
no,
you.
yeah, no, of course I would. I'll also send you these things are fun. I don't have any of them with me. I'll send you a $5 wrench to talk about security later on, but it's a tchotchke that's really important to me as well. So
Okay.
it would mean a lot to me that you have one. So maybe my
Well,
wife will make them into earrings for you. Maybe that's what we'll do for you.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yay. Crypto earrings.
Because
That's so great.
security is a mindset. You gotta keep it close to your mind at all times, right? Close to your brain at all times.
Oh, that's so
But
awesome.
so little tools like this though, they come in handy. So backing up your seed phrase plate to go back to first principles, steel matters. Why? Again, not going to be picked up by a metal detector. Much more robust. If you cover it in some kind of a membrane or even just plastic wrap, cellophane, and you feel like burying it somewhere, as long as there's not any kind of liquid that enters, water that enters into that ceiling, you can bury it anywhere and then geocache it and come back for another time. You can split your seed phrase if you want to and do geographic multi-sig. Ideally, you would do that in an intercontinental fashion. So you would take part of your split seed phrase and go bury it in your cousin's backyard in Edinburgh, right? Or somewhere else, right? Like
Yeah.
that's the ideal. But that's kind of hardcore. At least making sure that it's backed up so that a flood, a fire, and an eager, hate to lay out the scenario, but a burglar just kind of sweeping through your house, they can't easily find it. I think that's the threat model most people face, Randy. And that would even cover a lot of law enforcement actions if they're not properly conducted, right? Your civil asset forfeiture type situations
Yeah.
where there is no legal basis for taking somebody's crypto, that helps get rid of that threat vector for most people. And that covers like 95% of the use cases in my mind. What you
Smart.
said about just not talking about what you own, I'm very clear about what I own. I'm broke. I don't own crypto.
Yeah, no, 100%. He doesn't
Y'all
own
y'all
any.
want to y'all want to test me? Go ahead. Like I've got a publicly doxed wallet, mineyourbiz.eth. We'll call that an airdrop or a burn wallet. If you
Yeah.
want to secure a piece of your supply, drop it there. It won't move. I promise you.
Yeah, I have one too,
Because
missteencrypto. Go for it.
yeah,
And I also have missteencrypto.eth. I also have Randi Hipper.eth. Have fun. But yeah, no, I 100% agree with that. So, all right, all that for the win. All right, so now we're gonna talk about like cold storage and hot and like cold storage, hot wallets, all that. And I know that there's good wallets like Cake Wallet that are open source that have a bunch of like little fun things on there that you could go spend your crypto with. But do you like? I know you were dipping into open source and what that means on like Billy Goat Tail Spaces. Shout out to Billy and the fam. Like I know you were talking about open source and how like people could look to it, but is it really what we want, or is it really like that helpful? Like, explain that a little
yeah,
bit.
that's really tough, right? So let me now I'm gonna insist on getting the visual aid, right?
Hmm.
Oh, because I got a couple of visual aids over here.
Smash the likes,
And
friends. Share it out. Go ahead, Seth.
all right, so here's just a few visual aids, wallets, from the past. Here's one that I cut in half with a water jet with a great channel that just cuts things in half. It's by a company that I don't trust, so why use their wallet? Here's a different one that they made that's also interesting and air gapped. And here's stuff that's starting to look a little more familiar, right? Open source. We
Yeah,
know
treasure.
this. We think we like this, right? It's open source. And here's the standard, which is not open source and can now. Oh, that's a little Dane. I'm sorry. It's got a picture of me. um, but
Nice pick.
it's got. Thanks. It's so open source can matter as far as auditing whether or not something is truly secure. Open source hardware, by any other name, would be like some device that runs Android, or really just a kind of a customized version of Android that can help with third-party audits, but it gives the same information out to your would-be attackers. So it
Hmm.
is a two-edged sword. People who are trying to find a way around your defenses, well, you've published exactly where the perimeter walls are, so to speak, right? Like where you've built up your defenses. So they've got an easier time trying to figure out how to get past them. In the case of closed source, though, You got different threat vectors, right? You got a different threat model. The first one is that we don't know what updates these guys have planned for us, and that they'll just push in a firmware update claiming that it's for one function when it really supports additional gain of function. I'll phrase it that way to help
Mm-hmm.
really illustrate the problem, right? We don't know what every update really means with these devices.
Yep.
It could be, yeah, we get to exploit your seed phrase, for example. What could go wrong? What kind of problems could that lead to if somebody had the power to de-anonymize everyone's crypto wallets? What could happen to that person? I think we're finding out.
Yeah,
It's really sad.
I don't like that, because then again, like, you shard your seed phrases, and then like government subpoenas all three entities that have them, and then you're like, darn it, I guess the
Or
self custody thing wasn't legit then.
or worse, the person who runs that company gets the gets the screws put to him by whoever wants that power, whether it's a government organization or just the black hats, the baddies, who, more often than not, it's really disappointing to find out that more of those people work for governments than we want to admit.
Yeah, true.
The way to disown their actions. So that has me concerned. And I am pointed at, I don't know if you've read this yet. I just heard, I haven't validated it yet. But one of the principals at Ledger has been threatened and is being held for ransom right now.
Are you
Currently.
serious?
This is breaking, yeah.
Oh shoot, I'm gonna have to go look at that later. Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
And so when you're looking at hot versus cold storage, and if you want to break down, like, for people again that may not know, because a lot of people like hold their crypto on exchanges, which, oh my gosh, gets me so angry, because everyone's complaining about Coinbase right now. Oh my gosh, Coinbase won't give me my Solana. Hello, one, the network doesn't work, and two, they might not have the reserves. And so, like, what are you gonna do then? Like, that's why you always have your crypto in a wallet, because you can always send it back.
Yes, I'm actively telling people, anybody who wrote "I love Seth" in the poll in the chat right now, y'all need new priorities. Where do you keep your Bitcoin? You don't keep your Bitcoin with "I love Seth." Look, love is great, but it doesn't pay the bills and it doesn't secure your crypto. Just think differently about it. All right, so
So,
anyway,
hot versus cold storage. What's the difference for people that don't know, and how do they get started with both?
very, very simply put, hot storage would be anything where you intend to actively manage your crypto. So if you have to use DeFi, if you have to, if you feel like LPing, doing any of these more advanced things that we do in crypto and DeFi these days, or whatever, like go pay gas fees, or prepay fees for new services like these new AI agents are coming out or whatever, you would have to have a hot wallet. That just means that the funds are very, very easily accessed. And these days, that might look like an AI agent that's attached to a sniper bot. It's gotten very, very wacky, right?
Yeah.
But by definition, these are incredibly dangerous. The risks are like tenfold what an exchange is right now with how exotic hot wallets are getting. So in my mind, everything from a sniper bot and one of these AI agents, all the way down to Cake Wallet, they're all considered hot wallets.
Mhm.
There's a massive difference and kind of a spectrum of security in those options. I know you're running through the options in your mind right now, and like Cake Wallet is no sniper bot in terms of security. By comparison, they're both hot wallets, but they function very differently.
Yeah.
The point is you have easy access to the funds. A cold wallet would be anything where you've intentionally introduced difficulty in being able to move the funds. So that could be a hardware wallet, or that could just be a paper wallet, something where you generate an address and you only have one QR code that you print on a piece of paper, and that's that's the send funds here public address. That's one of the most secure means of having cold storage or a cold wallet. Hardware wallets are kind of somewhere in between. They're a signing device. They allow you to take something that's air gapped from the computer and make cold funds hot, if that makes sense. Yes. With a signature. Yeah, so that's why I love hardware wallets so much. I love the idea of them, and I've tried so many of them to the point that I've got them counted on my ears and I can throw them away. I love testing these things and figuring out, is this really usable for my wife, right? Like, yeah, the person in my life who's like, well, crypto's interesting, but I really only care about what it can do for me in certain ways.
Yeah.
She doesn't she doesn't want to manage a cold wallet. That's my job in our family. Um, well,
As it should be, I
defined
think.
always. Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. It's still, it's still the kind of thing where in her mind she's like, look, that's boring. It's boring. The long, slow moving stuff in crypto is boring.
Yep.
On the edge of where things happen, like collecting NFTs or publishing NFTs, that's exciting. She's way more interested in that. So hardware wallets have become a must in our life because it's like you need access to funds relatively quickly, and the values can change relatively fast. If you feel like keeping what's on this, forever in cold storage and just not working with it anymore, just stop signing transactions with this thing and decommission it.
Yep.
That's why, yeah, yeah. So anyway, I don't know if that was a helpful explanation. Chat, if you, I don't know what your tradition is for giving Randy feedback here, but was that was that terrible? Was that bad
No,
advice?
not at
Let her
all.
know.
No,
Let
it
her
was
know if
good.
let her know if this guy's any good. Chat, do your job. Come on now.
Yeah, I mean, because then as you guys are smashing the likes, because we do know that, like, there's a lot of like air gapped wallets, right? So what exactly does air gapped mean, and how do you know that it's always going to stay completely offline? Because apparently you do have to get a QR code from somewhere, you have to sign from somewhere, right? And it has to hit the
Yes.
network somewhere somehow.
Yes. I'm so glad you're asking these questions in this way, Randy, because we hear these phrases and they sound like buzzwords in marketing because
Mm-hmm.
some companies use them like buzzwords. But air gapping simply means that two devices are separated. They don't have any kind of a meaningful hardline connection or data connection where extra pieces of information can be shared between them. So think of that's a bad example because here's one with a camera, and we'll just pretend like I'll pretend like this other one has a camera, which it doesn't. Should tell you a little bit that they went with that form factor, but didn't bother to make it actually air gapped. So if I display a QR code on this screen here and I scan it with this camera over here, the only thing being communicated are the bits of information that QR code contains,
Yeah.
and that's it. We've kind of largely agreed that this is one of the best ways to air gap a device over Bluetooth because the Bluetooth protocol can communicate a bunch of other stuff too. And in some
Okay.
cases, it has to in order to maintain its connection. A QR code it's literally only what you decide to put into the QR code. So when we talk about a crypto wallet being air gapped, Randy, in my mind, that has come to mean only QR code signing. I felt so strongly about that I made a really like a lot of noise with the Keystone wallet makers about adding Monero support. And
Mm-hmm.
To Vic's credit over at Cake Wallet,
Yeah,
he
Vic.
decided to fund a bit of development to help make that happen for Cake Wallet as well, and having hardware signing that wasn't just a ledger device
Mm-hmm.
because they're not air gapped.
Yeah, go Vic.
So yeah, he's doing the right thing, I
He's a
think.
legend.
Um,
Yeah.
so but I really appreciate that they responded to that and that he was willing to help fund the development of that. It seemed like an obvious need to me, but air gapping means QR codes, no communication over a USB data port, uh, any kind of networking protocol like that you would normally use wirelessly, or any kind of Bluetooth communication protocol either. So many of those require added communication between the devices, and I don't want that. I want my crypto wallet, just like cash, to be like, here you go. All you need is this signature. That's it. That's all you need to know about this device is this is a signature from a valid key that manages crypto. There's the amount. Do you need to give me change? Cool, give me change. That's it. That's all I need to know,
Yep. So
virtually speaking.
let's say that you have like you have a receive QR code on your computer. So you're going to send, let's say, ETH from your cold storage wallet to MetaMask, and MetaMask pulls up a QR code. You use that cold storage wallet with the camera there to scan that QR code, and then on that wallet you just press OK button, send, and then that's it.
Yep. In practical terms, that's how you drive it. Yep. You
Yeah.
just simple prompts like that. The only thing I would say to maybe optimize the workflow for people who are not looking at alternatives to MetaMask, there are a few very usable alternatives to MetaMask now. It wasn't the case a couple of years ago, but
Yeah, there's
they're
nothing.
very usable. Yeah, but nowadays you got a few, and in some cases, in my mind, they're a little more trustworthy, and they're open source, so you can audit them and you can know for sure that they're not doing weird stuff. But
Yeah, I'm with that. I don't like the weird stuff, Seth. I'm not a
I
fan of the
mean,
weird stuff.
good, 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 good.
I
Yeah,
mean,
we need somebody to be the face of the not weird stuff for Gen Z. Thank you.
yeah. We also have, like, speaking of weird stuff, there was a Doge clock added to the national debt clock. Thank you, Robert, for that super chat. That's nuts too. I saw that. Like, we're headed into a time where we're gonna be seeing a bunch of meme coins come to the surface. We literally have our president and the first lady with a meme coin. I mean, did you ever guess that was going to happen?
No, I really didn't. And
That is
beyond that,
nuts.
it's a big signal, Randy, to how much the landscape is going to change with crypto in the United States.
Uh,
Like they sent a very clear warning shot to the regulators who have been aggressively persecuting US
mhm.
companies that work in crypto. So no, I'm here for it. It's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah,
Now, them
I hate.
vampire attacking all the liquidity of USDC on Solana, that's a weird strategy. We have yet to see exactly why that happened, but yeah.
Yeah, I'm just, it was also a nice test of Solana. Like, because when I saw within the first 15 minutes of Melania's post. It came up on my feed. I was like, holy what? Like, is this real? And then so I went on her page. I was like, okay, this is really Melania. There's a token. All right, this is wild. And I told my chat I was using $10 to Solana. I was pressing buttons for fun. And I was like, let me see if this transaction goes through. It took me over an hour to swap, right? And I was like, okay, this is nuts, because if this was real mainstream adoption and not like maybe 500,000 crypto nerds pressing buttons, like what would happen? like like Solana can't, like, it can't scale like that. And like, this is not a hit at Solana. It's just like the fact of the matter is that if we have mainstream adoption, what in the world is going to scale? Like, what network can handle mainstream adoption and not have crazy high fees, not literally break where your transactions can't go through? And I get nervous about that, because if we're having presidential meme coins out here, we need to be ready for mainstream adoption.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We do need to be ready for mainstream adoption. The unfortunate reality is it was just as divisive a move as anything else from whoever was advising Trump's team to let that happen. And I think we're going to see a lot of maybe that was an intentional kind of elbow drop on some things. And so
Hmm.
now it's setting the stage for like, all right, if that did that break some of the enforcement actions that the SEC and the CFTC were trying to do on other people? If so, let's pick up those pieces and maybe throw them away.
I mean,
Maybe not try to put them back together.
I just don't understand, like, what happens next, right? Because you had all these celebrities that launched meme coins, and then the SEC was like, bad, bad, bad. And then, like, all the people that were just releasing whatever they wanted, just like Trump did, and they had to spend money on legal fees and all these things. Like, now does the government pay them back for all the money that they lost? Like, I think
They
there's
never do.
there's a lot of reparations that I feel have to be made to the people, especially like Binance US is a great example where, like, the SEC came after them and for literally no reason caused a bank run on the company because they cut off their banking partners. They had to fire 70% of their staff. And for those 70% of the staff, like, that was food off their table. What happens to them now? Like, the SEC wasn't like, oh yeah, this is the money we took from Binance. Let me give it towards your salary for the rest of the year so you can find another job. I just feel like there was just no mercy there. There's no mercy.
No, not at all. Like I'm saying, it's a contentious thing. I don't really have a dog in that fight, though. What I can say publicly is, as somebody who has, you know, very, very, very limited exposure to crypto, I didn't go chase a massive bag of these coins. So this is not me endorsing what could wind up to be some kind of rogue action. I just
Mm,
think it's really interesting from a social engineering perspective
yeah.
that that was a warning shot that kind of said, hey, shitcoiners, have fun, right? And hey, anybody that wants to do memes, have fun. And hey, AI agents that are also kind of really broadly in the same category, have fun. We're going to stop persecuting you until we make rules, right?
Mm-hmm.
We're not going to use lawfare as a, right, or enforcement via lawfare, right? Which has been the SEC's only play for 4 years. So, like, clearly, the Biden administration was trying to chill crypto. For those of you who remember, because you were actually in crypto in 2016 during the previous Trump administration, you remember also he was no friend to crypto exactly back then either.
Mm-mm.
So this is a very new look for any presidential administration in the United States. And Randy, all I'm saying is I find it supremely entertaining. And I can't wait to see what happens next because
Yeah.
it's going to get even more fun.
Yeah, like Doge is the face of the United States. I mean, I can't believe what kind of times we're living in here, because we literally go to doge.gov, like it's a real website, and you see the Dogecoin logo. I mean, being here for all of these years in crypto and everyone talking about Dogecoin, oh my gosh, the meme that, caused such madness in 2020, 2021, and then inspired like GameStop and AMC and all these things that went down, except that they halted AMC, they halted GameStop, but they couldn't halt Doge. And so Doge has just run wild, and now it's literally the United States. There's even a bipartisan House Doge caucus that's run by 3 different chairmen and has a nice logo. I like the logo personally. But it shocks me every day, like, that this is what's going on. But at the end, it's like fate loves irony. And I feel like this is really what happened here.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Absolutely. Plus, I mean, without going too deeply into a side tangent again, I mean, good Lord. Thank you, Randy, for having me on, because, like, seriously, I realized that half the invitation was to my ADHD. So not too big a tangent here. But yeah, like with that, with the Trump meme coin being a thing that exists now, yeah, we're gonna see the proliferation of AI agent created meme tokens that promote themselves even more than we already have over the last 2 to 3 months. Who will you prosecute when an AI agent, and when it's 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 levels abstracted from somebody who launched the code? We're nearly there, Randy. And you got people who, who love to, like I said, I've been here for every step of the dead internet rolling out. And so pardon me when I get a little bit jaded. That's why I like people so much. It's because I saw all the growth hack tricks, and I've been party to them for a lot of years because your favorite corporations paid good money to use them. So yeah, it's gonna be weird to see how the SEC now says, oh wow, automation, growth hacking, all that stuff applied to what we previously thought were securities. Now what?
Yeah, no, that's nuts, because like Laser said, there's no one to sue. Like, you're gonna go to the code and be like, code, you're going to jail. Like, you just can't stop code. And in a way, code is free speech, but the government, like, literally Trump just announced this huge deal with OpenAI, and then you have Grok on X, and you just have all of these AIs everywhere that are just going to take over, and then the AI agents, which are buying and trading for you. And so what are you're gonna arrest an AI agent? Like, they wanted to shut down like Roaring Kitties, like, accounts for stocks and all that stuff. Like, what are you gonna do? Shut down an AI agent next? Like, in the crypto market, you can't do that. That's nuts. That's so nuts.
No, it's going to get very, very weird. Plus, I mean, whatever, Mark Andreessen donating however much he did to was it Truth Terminal Truth, like, whatever, the Goatsy creator AI thing.
Oh, I have no idea.
It's weird. It's weird. I'm just saying it's weird. The way things are
Yeah.
getting funded, the way things are getting rolled out, the fact that there are self-replicating agents, it's definitely weird. But what I'm saying, Randy, right now is I'm of the opinion that it's incumbent on creators like you and people like you who intend to do good, uplifting things to race toward automation. Like, to race, not to slow walk, not to slow clap, to spend your evenings and weekends. I know you're already spread thin, but I'm of the opinion that the good ones have to put in the extra effort to sprint ahead of the black hats and the a-holes.
Yeah.
Like, because all this stuff is being automated. Everything is being automated. Everything in the world is being automated. So we need better people controlling those levers. I'm of that opinion.
Wow, that
I
is
know, no pressure.
no, you know what? That's really deep because like we are definitely in a very interesting time where we just don't really have control over much. And I think, there's going to be a lot of narratives that are put out there about crypto. There's going to be a lot of narratives put out there about AI. And honestly, we don't know what to believe anymore. But I do know that we could have a very bright future ahead if it is a controlled environment where we're able to like spearhead things in a bright and helpful way. And I love humanity so much, and it would break my heart to see humanity drift, and go awry because of all of
Well,
these
Randy, that's
things
why I
that we're
think you need to
creating.
find good people like you to partner with to get ahead of automation and to help to amplify not only your voice but your actions. Is what I'm saying with AI, with automation, right? So
Oh
yeah.
gosh.
Anyway,
If you
I know,
guys
no pressure.
Yeah, if you guys are worried about AI, put that in the chat too. Guys, we have 17 more likes till we hit 100. We're getting there. Someone said Gary Gensler's called and he's looking for work. Mike, you're hilarious. Yeah, Gary Gensler, oh man. Yeah, we need help. We need to have a nice bright future for the world, and I'm very bullish on the world, and I'm very bullish on the United States, and I hope that this administration is a step forward for crypto, and it's a step forward for humanity, as we've seen a lot of detriment to this country. And I just hope that we can make America wealthy again, because people, especially my generation, they can't afford anything. Owning a house is almost like an impossible thought. And the banks owning most of the land, and all these rich people owning most of the land, and places burning down, and then the rich people buying up, and it gets very crazy. But I do think that we could empower people in a very happy and healthy way, and I do hope that we could do some good. And that's why I try to do what I could on this channel, because I do think that, like, with the right people, the right support, and the right mindset, we could definitely make America wealthy. We can make America healthy. Like, we could really help humanity, and I'm very bullish on that. So, yeah, I'm
Yeah. I would agree. I think the release of the Trump and the Melania tokens, though, Randy, they are a mixed bag. Like
Yeah.
I find it amusing. I think it's gonna be a good thing. Like in the end, it's gonna be good. It's gonna be okay. And if it's not okay, it's not the end yet. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah.
Right? That's good. Things are gonna be all right. And the U.S. is, I genuinely believe, is divinely appointed. It's divinely blessed, and people who work hard and have an interest in its outcome are going to work to make sure that, yeah, again, in the end, it's okay. AI is going to be a part of that conversation. Automation will absolutely be a part of that process. The Department of Government Efficiency, who is it run by?
Elon.
What does he have as a pet project for fun on the side?
Well, he's got Grok, he's got Tesla, he's got SpaceX, he's got like everything.
He's got a lot of automation tools for
Yeah.
all kinds of stuff, automating mental work and automating physical work.
Oh yeah, that's scary too. The
Put two and two together. He is in charge of government efficiency in the United States. Randy, I'm promising you, in the strongest language, and to your audience, especially the non-believers, AI is part of the next phase. Make it your next era or perish. If you're a good person, it's a moral obligation. Do it.
Oh boy. Guys, AI is taking over the United States. Oh boy, yeah. I think we should leave this here, because I think a lot of people can now think about AI in our future, and if the Matrix and all this stuff is really gonna come to light. And yeah, I think the Matrix, in one way or another, was definitely a documentary. BBB. I feel that way. Yeah, there's definitely a lot of things we got to think about going forward, and I think we should have a part 2 to this conversation soon, because this was. Oh my gosh, this was so awesome. So thank you so much for joining me, Seth. Thank you everyone for watching. Where can everybody find you, Seth?
Well, I appreciate you asking. The best way to find everywhere that I'm currently publishing is to go to mineyour.biz slash, this is weird. The link structure on my site is kind of funny, but it's hashtag links. So mineyour.biz slash hashtag links. That's everywhere I am on the internet. And then on mineyour.biz, I have an email list where, I mean, before AI was part of the automation, I had an automated email list that gives you 21 free lessons on crypto security. So it will complement everything we talked about today, Randy, without taking anything away from your content stream. People can just kind of read those emails in their spare time. And it's no additional, skin off my nose for publishing. I just felt it was really important to have that as a reward for people who want to sign up for the email newsletter. But that's the best place.
That's awesome. Guys, his YouTube, his X, and his link tree type thing is in the live chat as well as the description. So please make sure you guys check him out. Please follow him. Please support him. He's such a good friend of mine. And a lot of blessings to him and his family and to everybody out here. Guys, stay vigilant. Go to the gym. Read up on AI and get your bags packed for the next 4 years. It's going to be insane. Hope you guys have a beautiful day. A happy Wednesday. I'm going to get to the Randy Roundup later. Make sure you guys check that out. And also, I'm going to post my Newsmax hit after this. Have a beautiful day. I'll see you guys later. See you tomorrow morning, too, for the Daily Zest. Smash the like, subscribe, share it out with friends. I'll see you later. Stay zesty. Peace.